Fast Lawyer VR Reviews. For sexy VR reviews, hit the subscribe button. Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. Today we're doing a Let's Play, and actually a full live review, for Wonder Trips VR, a game that was released on the Steam store today, March 24th, 2023. It normally retails for $5. I bought it at that price. Wonder Trips is an odd game. Basically, it's mostly an on-rails semi-gameplay, but mostly just cinematic experience. So, right now, I'm on an on-rails, kind of like a roller coaster experience, where I'm just touring the Jet Island map. Soon, though, we will be able to race on a boat, and then we'll be able to go parasailing as well. There's also a desert map where you go on a magic carpet ride, and then you're able to ride on a camel. Now, you are able to control the boat and the camel, but motion controllers are only used as either menu selection or as a gamepad. So there is no real room scale motion controls. So the motion controller is basically just used either as menu selection, laser pointer, or as a gamepad. Now this, like I said, this normally only retails for $5. So at the low price of $5, I'm able to give a tepid recommendation, but I did run into some issues. Now, Jet Ski Island, the map here looks a lot better than the desert map. Now, the visuals aren't great, but it's definitely at least pleasant, I would say, especially for the budget price. But the desert map is a little bit more underwhelming. So obviously, these textures aren't the highest textures, especially once you get to the edges of the map. And once I get on the boat, you'll be able to see more clearly. You'll see that it's kind of flat. There's a little bit of pop in. The lighting isn't the best. But, overall, I would say, especially this Jet Island map, it looks nice enough. And there are some fun activities.
Hi. Did you have a fun time? Great. This isle is known by jet ski. Now you can have your own. Have free time and discover this wonderful island. The beach, the strait, the cave, and the village. Take your time.
Now, both these experiences have long intros. So basically, use trigger or grab either left or right to go forward on the boat, and then you just use joystick to control left or right. Those are pretty much all the controls here. And you basically have 5 minutes to drive around. You see there it says time left. And you just basically have to boat around. Now you see here at the edges, like I said, this is pretty flat. This looks like a cardboard cutout. Now despite this, like I said, Jet Island map, which this is called, is much better looking than the desert map. I'm not going to show the desert map because otherwise this gameplay would be too long. Leave a little bit of a mystery for you guys, but it's definitely underwhelming compared to this map for sure. There are no brakes. There's no reverse. There's only going forward on this, which is kind of odd given that the camel you can actually go on reverse. So the controls for the camel and the boat are a little different. But again, you're just using this as a gamepad. Again, for this budget price, the visuals are okay for me. It looks nice for a budget of only $5. In total, both experiences took me about 40-45 minutes to complete. I did run into a game-breaking bug on the desert map. And basically what happened is that at the very end, you're on the on-rails camel ride at night, which is a little bit different than the rest of the gameplay. And then the game just kind of just hangs there. Your camel is like walking in place, and it walks into another camel and into another person, so it's bugged, and it just continues there. And I waited for like a minute and nothing was happening. My camel was just walking in place, it wasn't going anywhere. And so at that time, I just decided to manually quit. And I would say that was a game-breaking bug. So beware of that. I'm not sure if there was anything else to the experience. If there might not have been. But either way, it's a sudden end, abrupt end to that experience where you have to manually quit. So I would say that's the game-breaking bug. But other than that, I didn't run into any other issues. This is mostly on rails. Like I said, you have to drive around here for 5 minutes. The visuals are nice enough, I guess, but it's just not the path where you can actually use your boat, though, is very limited. So it's a little underwhelming, I would say, due to that fact that you don't have many places that you can actually go, because the map is pretty small. As you can see here, there's very limited places that you can actually go. This is actually one of the few places you can go. However, you can easily get stuck here. They're both dead ends. So on both sides of this little cove are dead ends. There's a dead end on that side as well. So unfortunately, there really isn't a way to get through there. We still have to keep driving, though, for the full 5 minutes. We still have 1 minute and 30 seconds left to be driving around. And you can see some of those palm trees are a little above the ground. I did notice some issues with the animations and the placements, especially on the camel ride. You'll notice the animations where they're walking, but they're walking below the sand. It's very noticeable on the desert map when that happens. So overall, I want to say that I enjoyed this somewhat, but the gameplay is very limited, and so this is really the best part of the experience. But for $5, I'm not really sure if it's worth it. I would say this is nice for those that are new to VR. So if you're new to VR, if you get motion sickness from experiences where you're just moving too fast, this might be like a good my first experience on a moving vehicle in VR, because the speed is generally pretty slow. So we were able to make a little shortcut there, and you'll see there's the pirate ship, and there's paragliding in the air, as a blimp in the air. Unfortunately, you don't actually although you do get on a paraglide attached to the boat, you don't actually go up on the cliff or on the blimp. So you don't actually do those activities. You don't even do the sailing over there, which the little sails over there might be a little more fun.
Amazing, isn't it?
Not really. I wouldn't
Today
say
marks
that.
National Jet Ski Racing Day. What a coincidence. Every year, the island tribes organize a competition day for jet ski riders. The contest prize will be donated to rehabilitate the school in the village. Good news. Local people invite you to participate in the competition. Good luck.
Now, earlier there were some other text but it's pretty apparent to me this is these developers are from a foreign country, and English is not their primary language. There were some issues with the translations, although for 90% of it, it's fine. But the 10% that's off is pretty noticeable. Now, this race is actually pretty easy. There's not much difficulty here. So there's not really a strategy here, unless you call cutting across to the shortest distance between the two objects strategy. I guess that's some kind of strategy. But, there's not really a whole lot of strategy. It's not very difficult to finish first, as long as you're not brain dead. So, yeah, there isn't much to this experience. It's only $5, so I don't want to be too harsh. But at the same time, I wouldn't recommend this to any VR veteran. If you're expecting gameplay with some depth, you're going to be disappointed here. If you're expecting great visuals, you're going to be disappointed here. Again, this jet ski island actually, to me, looks pretty good for the price. But the desert map looks worse. And that's where I have to and I face a game-breaking bug. So based on that, I'm going to rate this a 5.5 out of 10. It's basically a recommendation only for those that are new to VR or totally casual gamers, and you're okay with a very limited on rails experience. And quite frankly, I would say this is for those who normally experience motion sickness and just can't do faster paced racing, can't do more intense experiences, and this might be right for you. As a VR veteran, though, who has thousands of hours in VR and has never experienced motion sickness, I've got to say this experience is just a little too tame for me. It definitely holds you back. It doesn't just... The racing doesn't really feel intense. Even when you're floating above the island, it doesn't feel intense.
It was exciting racing. The prize will be donated to the village. The local people thank you for your participation and give you a special gift. Parasailing ride to enjoy the beautiful panoramic view of the island. Have fun.
Okay, so like I said, we already do like a little parasailing ride. It's an on rails experience. So there is. So this is completely on rails. You have no control over the ride. You're just basically enjoying the ride, enjoying the visuals. It's okay. Unfortunately, like I said, there's just no... It just doesn't go fast enough. It's not exhilarating enough. It's kind of tame. But this might be perfect for those who feel motion sickness in VR. If you experience motion sickness in VR, this might be right for you. But like I said, I'm a VR veteran, thousands of hours in VR. I'm used to intense experiences in VR. And quite frankly, this just doesn't really cut it enough for me. It's too tame for my taste. But maybe for you, it'll be just right. So, like I said, overall, I give this a 5.5 out of 10. It's mostly an on-rails experience. There's about a total of 45 minutes of content. I really can't see anyone wanting to, after they complete the experience, wanting to come back, especially with the current game-breaking bug in the desert map. Now, the developers do say there's another map coming soon. It's the Jurassic Park themed map, so like a dinosaur map. That might be fun. I don't know. The camel ride just for me just wasn't all that fun. It was, to be honest, it was kind of boring. It was interesting being on a camel. I don't think I've ever ridden a camel in VR, but it was a little too basic, too simple, and the map just didn't look good in my opinion. And then you had the Magic Carpet ride again. Magic Carpet ride should have been fun, but it was again too tame for my taste. And this jet ski map looks a lot better than the desert map. So that's why I'm showing this. I'm showing the best map. And I think these experiences overall are better than what the desert one provided. The camel racing wasn't all that fun. It kind of reminded me of the boat experience, only not as fun. And like I said, even here, the boat racing, again, it's very tame. It's you do have control over the boat, obviously, triggered to press on the gas and then to turn, but that's basically all the controls. So there's not much challenge to it. So yeah, overall, I was just underwhelmed by this experience. But even though I would say this experience is not targeted for me, it's not meant for a VR veteran like me, it might be for those newer to VR. You might enjoy it more. So overall, I would give this a 5.5 out of 10. There's about 45 minutes of content here. It's only $5. Anyways, I'm Fast Lawyer. This has been my Let's Play and full live review for this game. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, have a wonderful day. And look, there's a whale. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.